Hallo und herzlich willkommen auf meinem Channel. Mein Name ist Selakon und ich begrüße euch heute aus einem Interview-Call mit Zach from MajinHobbies und would you like to introduce yourself first?
Sure. My name is Zach Eastman. I come from Pennsylvania in the United States, and I've owned MajinHobby, selling tools for the Gunpla crowd for a couple of years now.
Well, thank you for being here and are ready to answer my questions. Für euch alle, ich habe mir ein paar Fragen rausgesucht. Ich dachte, ihr habt das ja gesehen, ich sponsor ihn, beziehungsweise er sponsert mich. Und dass ihr jetzt auch mal seht, wer dahinter steckt. So I told them, you're sponsoring me, and now we're telling the Germans who you actually are, and not just that logo that you see in my stories.
Right, exactly. I'm sure that there aren't too many Germans that are familiar with my store just because of the distance, but it's great to get introduced and to expand just our not our customer base, but just our exposure in general, and to meet new people, new enthusiasts in Europe. It's wonderful. So thanks for having me.
You're welcome. So you're an avid Gunpla builder. Mm-hmm. When did you discover Gunpla?
That was sometime around when Gunpla when Gundam Wing aired in the U.S. So I want to say that it was sometime around 20 years ago. I don't remember if it was just before or just after the year 2000, but I would guess it was 1999. That's just going to be my guess. So that's I found Gundam Wing and just kind of dumped my energy into learning more about the series and the whole storyline, the other storylines that were published on paper or in video, and it just became my world.
So just the anime or Gunpla, like directly into Gunpla?
Well, okay, so initially, I think there was a commercial for a model kit in one of the episodes, or there was some kind of attachment there. So I saw that there was a model kit for these, these mobile suits. And I went down to my local hobby store and found a couple of the kits from Gundam Wing. And I think I bought 2 of them, ruined them, completely destroyed them. I tried to hand paint. I think I had a wing, and I was trying to hand paint it straight from the bottle without, cutting, without diluting at all, and it just got globbed on there. It was terrible.
Well, was it snap fit or just glue?
No, it was snap fit. It was definitely snap fit. I think that, as far as I know, that's been my only experience with Gunpla is snap fit.
Okay. Because I recently, touched my first kit from the 80s, where you actually had to color it and glue it because it's like solid one color and no snap fit at all.
Right. Yeah. I haven't had the opportunity to play with any of those. They're fairly rare nowadays. So even if I did get one, I probably wouldn't open it or, attempt to put it together. So no, I believe these were snap fit, because if it had involved glue at that point in my life, I probably would have been too intimidated.
So Gunpla was your first dip into model kits.
I mean, my first serious attempt. I had received a few model kits from family members for birthdays or Christmas or whatever, but this was my first serious stab at it. Something I really wanted to have look a certain way. I wanted it to look a certain way, and I was very particular about that. Whereas in the past, you know, if it was a jet or a car or something like that, I just kind of did it the way the instructions told me, and that was it. But I really wanted to bring a dynamic feel to these mobile suits when I had completed them. I wanted to have some energy in the way they were built. So yeah, I was gung-ho from day one. I was ready.
I can totally understand you. That is one thing that happened to me as well. I tried one of those Revell model kits, that gray plastic glue thingies, and you tried to paint it, and I didn't know what priming did mean, and so on and so on. It was an awful experience, and when I tried Gunpla, it just like something in my mind just went blam, and creativity sprang out of nowhere, and you're kind of asking yourself, okay, what else can I do with that kit?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Exactly. I think it invites creativity, just inherently. Just like the community has developed this need to expand or to improve the process or something. It's really amazing. It's really amazing, and I love learning new techniques and new things. Obviously, I love the tools and everything that goes along with it. So it is definitely a different world for me than, say, you know, building a model car just to put, you know, in the trash 6 months later once you've decided that you're done with it. You know, this is different for me.
Mm-hmm. So is Wing your favorite anime, or
no?
From the Gundam series?
No, I wouldn't say that. I mean, and at first, sure, I couldn't get enough of it, but I'd say this is always a hard one for me. I get asked this a lot. It's a hard one for me to answer because I have favorite mobile suits from a certain series, but then I also like certain story arcs from other series, and I don't personally think that any of the animes have been perfect. Okay, so absolutely perfect. For me, there's always something that I don't like about it. Either I wish they had this type of mobile suit, or I wish, you know, the story went this direction or something. And that's just me being, you know, a picky American. But, you know,
no, fair enough. Then let me rephrase it. What's the Gundam anime you would say you could always go back to, like always rewatch?
Well, the originals, you know, Universal Century stuff, Char's counterattack. I really like those stories because I think there's such a character development there, not just in the, you know, the characters, but also in the mobile suits themselves. You know, you see them going from stage 1 to stage 2 to stage 3, and then each time they're, you know, 10 times as powerful, and they have, you know, or more weapons, or they're faster, or there's something going on like that. And for me, that's exciting. And I've said this before, and I know there's going to be some feelings about this, but I think 00 is probably my favorite, although I feel like the story arcs have been kind of recycled over and over again, so everything kind of gets muddy there, and I don't know if It's just such a hard question for me to
Yeah.
answer. I'm sorry, I'm going on and not really answering your
It's
question.
fine.
But
That is an answer in itself. So
yeah, yeah. So there, yeah. Make of that what you will. It's I like it all. I'll say it that way. I like it all.
So, how much time did go on after you watched your first, wing, or you had your first wing experience until you told
Mhm.
yourself, "Well, I need to open a shop."
Oh, jeez. Well, I've only had MajinHobby open for 3 years, something like that. So, I mean, there were 17 years there, plus or minus, where, you know, either life took me in a different direction or I was working on different projects. I've owned multiple, small shops before. I owned a vape shop before, um, for a couple of years, 2014 to 2017, something like that. I owned a small business modifying consoles, gaming consoles for a while. I've also worked for big electronics companies, manufacturing. So life has kind of taken me in different directions, but it took me 17 years to decide that my hobby was worth more to me than, you know, just weekends or just free time after the kids went to bed or something. It really meant more to me than that. And it was only 3 years ago that I decided to go 100% full bore. Let's make this a business. Let's make a living out of this and try to support not just myself and my family, but also other builders and maybe employees and that sort of thing.
Was that something that was always lingering in the back of your mind, or was that more like a quick decision, like, okay, I want to do that, and now I'm starting it, or was it like a building up of well, I could and maybe and
Yeah. Well, it took a while to really go full time. So I didn't know. I mean, I started off with a couple of pieces of hardware, tools that were hard to get a hold of in the US. They might be plentiful in Japan or in Korea, but in the US, difficult to find. Sold out all the time, or nobody carried it. I was growing more and more frustrated with having
not
to
just
wait
the US,
weeks.
like
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
everywhere.
Well, sure. But I mean, for me personally, I was getting tired of it. So
Yeah.
I decided to kind of take first steps and purchase a couple of tools that I was really impressed with, bring them in and just sell them, see how it went. But it it started to grow and become more and more very quickly. And I would say after 6 months, it was time to go full time and make it my only focus, really, besides my family. So yeah, about 6 months in, I was ready.
That is rather quick, I would
Yeah,
say.
yeah, yeah. I was pretty lucky finding some of the tools that I did. I was the first to bring gun primer items to the US, as far as I know. I beat out USA Gundam store by 3 or 4 weeks,
Mm.
actually. I had no idea they were following behind me, but now they're a major distributor, and of course they have a lot of buying power. But I was selling the razor kits and gate remover kits, that sort of thing, but actually before USA Gundam store did. So it those kinds of products really help my momentum and get things started because they were very popular.
I mean, I can totally appreciate how nice it feels to just be able to order stuff like this, like God Hand, Gun Primer, and so on. It's always, you see in the big international Gunpla groups, you see those kids and people using God Hands and those special tools.
Sure.
And you're sitting here, and especially in Germany, you're sitting here and you're like, well, I can't even get the kit.
Right.
Like, how should I be able to get a God Hand? And fortunately for me, I had friends living in Japan, visiting Japan like twice a year. And so I told them, like, please bring them here, please.
Oh, yeah. Bring some back. Pack your suitcases full. Yeah.
But I mean, I saw a God Hand, like the blue one. Not this time, but like 2-3 years ago, it was like 90 euros, like over $100 here.
Really?
And there were like three on order, and that's it.
Unbelievable.
So yeah,
you know exactly what I'm talking about. That's exactly where I was. You know, Amazon, you could find them on Amazon, but they were, super expensive. It didn't make sense to me. Somebody was getting ripped off every day, and somebody was ripping somebody off, selling this stuff on Amazon or eBay, in 1s or 2s or 10s or whatever. But there's definitely a demand. I mean, and I know it's even more difficult for you guys to get a hold of things than it is for us. Germany has a small community, so I'm
trying to change that.
I know you are, and I support you 100%, and that's part of the reason I appreciate what you're doing so much, because you're making steps to expand the attention and expand the community, and that's I applaud you. I appreciate that very much.
Thank you very much.
Yes, yeah, of course.
So yeah, do you know any German builders besides me?
Oh no, you're just about it. Let's see. I communicate with two on a regular basis. A gentleman named Marcus, and a gentleman named boy, you put me on the spot.
Well, names are not that.
Yeah, his name's Eric, E-R-I-K.
I can't
remember his last
name. But so yeah, we need to grow a lot over here, like community wise. But it's as you said, 20 years ago that was the Wing anime, and I feel like mecha in general, like mobile suits, is not that favorited genre over here.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, I go crazy over it. Like, I grew up with Mech Warrior and stuff, and it's always my dream to pilot something like that.
Right. Sure.
But I feel like it's a weak drive over here from that. But as well as, like, if you tell people you're working on model kits, they imagine those gray plastic things and not the wonderful world that is Gunpla.
Sure. Yeah. Bandai does an amazing job. They have their issues and their techniques, which, some of which I don't approve of, but the models that they create, I think, are top notch most of the time. I mean, of course, they make mistakes, like I said, but, they are always striving to improve their molds and their manufacturing processes. And coming from a manufacturing background myself, and my degree is actually in plastics engineering, so like I kind of understand, where they're coming from, on an engineering level, and I think they're just doing amazing things. So I really appreciate what they're doing, and I think they're blowing a lot of the other model companies out of the water with what they do.
I mean, I just recently, like half a year ago, I just bought a Revell ship just for the lulz. and
Okay.
actually
Yeah.
figured out the mold is 40 years old.
Oh, really?
They
So
did
they've been using the
nothing to
same
the
thing
mold
for
in
40
40
years.
years.
Yeah.
That is amazing. And then you see like Bandai on the other side with their promotional video where someone is like with that tiny microscopic file is like
Yeah.
editing the mold.
Right.
It's amazing. You
Yeah.
said Bandai makes mistakes, and there's one question that I really wanted to see you answer.
Okay.
Seeing the recent exclusivity of kits, being it the American entry grade, the Chinese Freedom, Gundam base in general, and P Bandai.
Mhm.
What do you think about that? Because to me, it's kind of. I know you need your exclusive kits. Like America needs it. Like such a huge community, you need that. But in general, it's okay. Now we get some kids here. Like, and we're very happy that we get some kids here, and then we have like,
Yeah.
okay, the next or three releases are P Bandai, and that is like out of the question here.
Right. Sure. Sure. Well, yeah, that's a hard question for me to answer because, I agree that, exclusive, it could be anything, but exclusive items are there for a reason, and they help bring awareness. They're a good advertising tool. They there's this uh you know there's collectors that will only collect the exclusive kits or the limited runs. Any hobbies like that, you could find the more valuable baseball card is more valuable, not only because of the player that's on the baseball card, but also maybe it wasn't printed in high numbers or, whatever. So like, I understand that, but I feel like it is taken to an extreme with Gunpla. And I also feel like sometimes they're shooting themselves in the foot.
It feels like, see for yourself, the RG Hainu that recently came out.
Sure.
Did like a lot of people wanted that kit, and it was
Sure.
instantaneously sold out everywhere.
Yep.
Even Japan,
Yep.
you had huge problems getting that kit.
Yep.
On the other hand, like P Bandai, no problem.
Right. Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, so yeah, it goes kind of both ways. Sometimes, I don't know, that I feel like they should offer these limited kits in a certain colorway or with a certain box design. And, there's only so many of those. They only print 2,000 of those, and they're only available at, wherever. They're only available in certain locations to purchase. But then maybe do a broader release with the a different packaging or in a different colorway, just to allow other people across the world to purchase and have those kits. It's a hard one because I get what they're doing from a marketing standpoint, but it's cutting a lot of people out. And I was going to say that they're shooting themselves in the foot because it's opening the door to third parties releasing bootlegs of these kits. And it's, of course, something that Bandai doesn't approve of and like.
Well, certainly not. So, on the case of third-party kits, what do you think about them? Because in Germany, I would say most of us are like very strict with the copyright. Like everything here is very strict. For instance, Twitch. If I use copyrighted music, I'm out. Same goes for YouTube. They're like 2 strikes and your account is
Sure.
gone.
Sure.
And then seeing like American streamers using like latest rap songs and no problem at
Right.
all.
Whatever they want. Yeah.
And I can see that in the community as well, because like there are far less Germans using third-party kits. So what do you think about them in general?
Right. So I feel in general, I feel like they are there for a reason. They're filling a gap or a void in production. There's a certain kit that I have wanted my entire life, and it wasn't available through Bandai. Somebody else made it, so I was
What kit
happy
was it?
to purchase it. A master grade Kshatriya.
Oh,
Yeah, so I could buy the high grade. I could find it, the official high grade, but I couldn't find a master grade.
yeah.
Right.
As far as I know, Bandai said something about the wings being too fragile to be 1/100th. But that is bullshit because every third-party maker could do it, so why not Bandai?
Right. So yeah, that's absolutely true. And they've done some amazing things in the past, with reinforced parts and shells on top of cages. You'd be able to do that no problem. I know they could do that. But I did purchase a third party kit. And I don't feel guilty about that. Like I'm an American and I want what I want and when I want it. And, I'm kind of personally, I guess I'm kind of I don't know. If you're going to take something and make it your own, if you're going to modify it, I kind of feel like there's no difference. If you're going to take a kit, chop it apart, add pieces, do whatever you do to it, redesign it. To me, it doesn't matter what it started as, if it was official or not. But I purchase Bandai plastic when I can because I approve of what they're trying to do and the quality of their goods. So I enjoy building their kits much more than I enjoy building, a Chinese kit. Usually, they are getting better, these third-party kits, but it's not for me to say what you do. I feel like
yeah.
So don't judge me.
No, I can totally follow that because for me, it's like, okay, I'm a customer. I'm not the lawyer of Bandai or whatsoever. I just, if I want that kit and the third party maker's the only one that ever makes it, why the hell not go for it?
Yeah.
It's just like those, one-to-one copies that are just stupid. And I mean, they have the technique. Like, there are really good manufacturers out there in China and so on. For instance, the zero gravity judge. That is like it's not copied. It's a genuine design, and it looks awesome, and it's awesome. Yeah,
it's original.
Yeah,
absolutely original. So that says that it doesn't need to be a copy of something. So I understand filling a void. This kit is not made by Bandai. People want it, so I'm going to make it for sale. That to me personally, that makes sense. It's reasonable. But just making a direct copy, a one-to-one copy, packaging one-to-one copy, manual, just stealing somebody else's work altogether is a slightly different story for me. I don't feel like one-to-one copies are a necessary part of our hobby. I think that they are less expensive, and that means it's more accessible to somebody who doesn't have a lot of money to spend on a kit. So I understand that argument, but I don't think it's necessary. I do think, though, that original kits are going to be the way that these third-party companies move into the future legally.
Hopefully,
with original designs, like the Judge. Amazing what they were capable of doing. And the box isn't anything spectacular. The packaging isn't anything spectacular, but it's well constructed, it's well designed, it's well made, and it's original. I think that's a perfect thing.
Or to get different licenses like Easter models with the Marvel figures.
Oh yeah,
Because
right.
those are awesome as well.
Yeah. So yeah, that it's expensive to get a license. I know this. My parents, there's a little fact for you. My parents are involved. It's them and their friends, really. They purchased the license to use the local college, the local university, to use their mascot, their designs in products. So they basically, for Penn State, where I live, they manufacture the recreations of the stone mascot, and they create the the chocolate bar that looks like the mascot and that sort of thing. But it is super expensive to do that legally. It's just tens and tens of thousands of dollars just to get the license to say that, okay, you may be approved to make this product that you want. It's not even a guarantee that they're allowed to make it. It still has to be approved. So I get that. But yeah, just making a one-to-one copy of something just to undercut or to undersell the original, I don't know. That doesn't sit right with me.
Right. So let's get back to you and your shop. What is in the last 3 years? What's your funniest work story? Like, do you have anything that totally went wrong or?
Yeah. There has been a lot of things that have gone wrong, but I have, for anybody that doesn't know, I run this tool empire by myself. I do everything myself. And for the past 3 years, I've basically ran it out of my house, a portion of my house. And it's grown and grown and grown. And I've had to build a warehouse and an office and all that stuff just to be able to move everything out. But sometimes I have people just showing up in the middle of the night, 10 o'clock at night, walking up to the house and looking in the windows because they think that, this is a storefront. So I have strangers showing up all the time, knocking on my door. It'll be a little bit better once the addition or the warehouse is complete. I'll kind of have a separate location for people to show up and do that kind of thing. But
so you can actually physically visit your store, like pick up the goods.
You will be able to very soon. And as a matter of fact, if you're local, and I do this all the time, if you're local, I can come and meet you, or you can come here and take a look at something before you purchase it. That's not a problem at all. It'll be a lot easier to do that once the construction is complete. And hopefully that will be done by Christmas.
Okay.
So it should be a good jump forward for us.
So that's keeping you busy right now.
Oh, yeah, it is. It's a lot of work. We have people, a contractor working on it, but there is a lot of, I'm involved in a lot of different ways. But to get back to your funny stories, luckily I haven't had anything too embarrassing happen. I think the most embarrassing thing that I can remember was pretty recent, and it was during another interview, and somebody was, I won't name names, but somebody was asking me to name these different model kits. And, I sell tools. I don't sell plastic at all. And I only build master grades. And I was getting asked about all these high grade kits. And I was just dumbfounded. Like, oh boy, I think I know that one. Like, I think I saw that one time. But it was pretty embarrassing. I was I was terrified about that, and I didn't want him to leave it in the video, but he did.
So I'm writing that down right now. Next interview, we're doing like an HG quiz here.
Well, I am preparing. Trust me. After that happened, I started studying the kits, learning the packaging, and it was terrible. But yeah, I mean, it's mostly straightforward for me. I don't have any terrible or hugely embarrassing stories.
But I can reassure you that a lot of people have that same problem. Like, if you're not the one that builds 100 to 200 kits a year, you're not being able to name them all.
Well, that's true. Yeah, but I was being asked as a shop owner, somebody who sells these kits all day long and sells, hundreds of kits a week or whatever. I just had to say, no, I don't know that one. Nope, don't know that one.
Even those, like I met a shop owner once and I was like, yeah, that HG something random numbers. Do you have it? Do you like it? And he was like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, I guess, you can't expect us to know everything. And, there are some famous, personalities, YouTubers, Instagrammers, whatever, who would be able to answer those kinds of questions, who do know the trivia like that. And it blows me away that they know so much. And boy, I have to worry about, adding things to the website this week. I have to update the website. I have to order new products. I have to pay the bills and process, and I have to mail stuff out. So I don't get to study the weapons and the kits as much as I would like to, for sure, especially anymore.
There's a German Lego YouTuber and shop owner, and he knows freaking every number of every Lego kit. Like he goes like, oh yeah, those are the tires from the kit 14056, and those are the light bluish gray bricks from the kit 1516 something. Hey, he's like totally awesome.
Yeah, that is amazing. I appreciate anybody that can do that with anything, with any subject. Yeah. I'm not that good.
Well, you specialize in tools, so one question that totally came into my mind right now was like, did you use every tool you sell?
Yes. So that's a good question. I have personally used every tool I sell, and I only sell tools that I would use myself, or have used myself, or are at least built to a certain standard. I feel like it's extremely difficult to buy things on the internet as it is. And if you're going to wait sometimes 2 months, I mean, hopefully not. But if you're ordering from Japan and you're not sure what the product is exactly, and if it's going to work for you, that's a difficult thing to do. You're going to spend tons of cash, wait a long time, and then you might not be totally happy with the tool quality or something. So I try to only carry tools that I myself would use. So I have experience with everything before I order it in bulk to sell and to put on the website. I have experience with it, and I feel like it is a quality tool, something that will be valued for my customers. So yes, I have experience with everything, and I'm a bit of a collector naturally. I collect all kinds of things and have over my life, but my Gunpla tool collection is humongous, and I don't get to use like 10% of what I have, but the 10% that I do use is on my website. So I hope, that comes as some sort of guarantee to potential customers that the stuff that I'm selling, even if you have never read a review or seen somebody use it, it's going to work. It's going to hold its edge. It's going to be high quality. It's not going to fall apart, and it's going to be a good investment.
As a customer, that is so yeah, reassuring that someone is behind that, did that. Like, if you order something from Amazon, it's like someone at minimum wage throwing stuff into a package. And it's or like go into a shop nowadays. Like those guys don't know jack.
Right.
No.
They're just
they're
there to
just
sell something. They
they are paid to sell something without trying it, without knowing about the product. And so I really like the idea of having someone behind that actually cares. That it's not just like, okay, I want to sell random things. It's more like, I used those are good.
Yeah, and I think there are a few in our community, in the Gunpla community, there are a few shop owners who feel the same way, do the same kind of thing, right? They sell what they believe in. I feel like there's a couple of larger stores that are US based, especially, that are just selling stuff because it makes them money, and they don't care. And they couldn't answer a question if you asked. They have no idea. They're just doing it because it sells or whatever. So, but I feel like there's a strong community of shop owners across the country here that are really in it for the right reasons. I hope I am too. I hope I'm one of those.
You are.
Okay, good.
So having talked about what happened until now, what's the future? What do you have in plan?
Well, most recently, I've been working on some new products to have manufactured and sell myself. So there'll be a MajinHobby design. It won't just be a rebranded product, or we're not buying something to slap our sticker on it. It's a design that I've worked on. I have a couple of these projects in the works.
Like the gun primer razor?
Well, the gun primer razor was a product that we just slapped our sticker on, basically.
Okay.
I mean, we designed the logo and the design, but we didn't design the product. We've been working with gun primer for a long time, and that felt like a good way for us to work together. They designed a product. They helped us, basically put our logo on it. So that was just kind of a cooperation between two companies. But the products that I'm working on now are going to be new designs, completely new, maybe a product that you or an idea, a tool that you may be familiar with, but taking it in a different direction. So we will have a few releases of our own tools. I have merchandise now for sale. This is one of the hoodies, which has been extremely popular. We have, football jerseys. We have baseball jerseys and shirts and zip up trainers. We have all kinds of things. So that's a new addition. With the new building, I'm going to be able to hire people, and I have hired somebody to work with me and to try to expand what we're doing here. It'll allow me to free up some time and concentrate on what I'm really good at, and not just what I have to do to make it work. So that will be, I think, huge for us in 2022. We have some really major collaborations coming with other builders. You're going to see a team build. So the group of builders that I sponsor or cooperate with in some way. We're going to have a group build off, not really a build off, but just a group build to showcase our talents. And I think it's going to be really cool. So look for that probably sometime in February or so. We have new products coming from Gun Primer. We have a huge order from Display, which still hasn't shown up, but is coming, I promise. So there's a lot of new products there. We've got paint coming. So maybe four different brands of paint are going to be added. We have new chisels, which are top-notch, top-tier chisels for panel lining. You're going to see MajinHobby kind of go into second gear, or maybe third gear. We've been kind of coasting along, making some moves, but I think 2022 is going to be a huge year for us and the community as well. But yeah, it's going to be more of the same. So more high quality tools, more high quality customer service and attention to detail. And you're going to see a lot more of me personally. Yeah, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be a huge year, so I'm ready for it.
Well, that sounds good. I'm really hyped to see your growth and the shop in general. And,
I appreciate that.
See how much we can lift Gunpla in the heights.
Yeah, right. That's the goal. That's what we're both working towards, and I think that's why, we are why we make a good team and why we're going to be, successful in this. It's because we have the same goal in mind. But I did want to bring something up that is maybe a concern for your followers specifically, but also anybody who's involved in the Gunpla world at all. The U.S. Postal Service has made some changes recently, and other countries across the world have made some changes in the way that their mail's delivered and the way they accept mail internationally.
Okay.
So there are countries that I cannot ship to at all right now because of COVID. There are some countries that are only accepting certain type of mail. For example, no first class packages. It has to be express mail or UPS or FedEx. So I've been receiving a lot of first class packages, international packages back from Germany specifically, and Australia especially as well. But so that means I'm going to have to change the way I ship products internationally to make sure that they get to my customers. Temporarily, I've had to kind of halt international shipping. And that's only because we're restructuring the way that we're going to do that. We're going to try to put in we're going to try to implement some changes that will allow for a better price for our European customers. I believe you and I have kind of talked about this a little bit.
Yeah. It's short conversation. Germany's customs is a bit of a problem right now because, as you said, they changed a lot of things. You're only allowed to use like express shipping from international places. One further thing is that our customs now will have the tax on everything. Like starting with the first $1, it's like you're getting tax, and not even that, because like our postal service is giving the money up front, and you have to pay them back. There's like a fee on it. as well.
Right.
So you maybe have a tax of €1, but the fee that they paid that euro is €6. So you always have to pay €6, whatever you do.
Yeah, it always comes down to €6. Yeah, that's hilarious. I've seen that quite a bit, actually. So yeah, it's really confusing to me. I don't understand the politics behind it. So, I don't pretend to know, but I do know that we have to change something on our end to make sure that the packages get to, you and your followers and everybody else in the world. So, I mean, that's a conversation maybe for a later time, but we are trying to adjust things so that you can get your products at a reasonable price from us anyways. I think that it's important that if we're going to be offering something to our local customers at a certain price, that we try to get that to our international customers as cheaply as possible as well. There's no sense in favoring, one person over another just because of their, government or where they live or whatever. So we're going to try to make some changes there to hopefully save you guys some money.
I'm looking forward to it, and
yeah,
we'll definitely have a big order then.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. And if it makes sense for any reason, contact me personally. And this goes for anyone. If there's a way that I can help save you money, I'll do what I can to make that happen, because, I want you guys to be able to get what you need when you need it. It's not, for me, it's not about the money. So if I can help save you guys a couple of bucks, let me know how I can do that. I'm willing to work with you.
Thank you very much. And really, again, thank you for being here and answering those questions. Do you have anything you want to ask me or my followers, or something you want to say?
Yeah, I want to say, you put me on the spot. Cut this part out. I don't have anything to say. No, I'm happy that we are getting some exposure, and I hope that you look to us for as a resource in the future. I'm always willing to have a conversation or to point you in the right direction, even if I can't help you. It's my goal to help expand the knowledge base in the community and to help people when possible. I think that this community can be really, really great most of the time. So it's about cooperation and working together. And I might be, 1,000 miles away, but I might be able to point you in the right direction if you have some sort of question or you need to find something. So just give me a shout. I'm here. I'm available anytime.
That's good to hear. Well, then let's end it on yeah. I'm terribly sorry. I just wanted to translate the questions, but I totally forgot about that while doing our interview.
I was going to bring it up. I was going to mention that. I thought you were going to translate the English, but now you're going to have to translate into German. And
yeah. I wanted to do that both, like first saying the question in German and then in English, but yeah, I totally got into the flow. And
here, rapid fire. Let's just go down the questions, and I'll give you like 2-word answers for each one, so you can do it.
Okay, wait. Because I only wrote them down in English. Wann hast du angefangen, oder wann hast du Gunpla entdeckt? So, when did you discover Gunpla?
1999, I think.
Wie bist du auf Gunpla Kits gekommen und hast du andere Model Kits davor gebaut? So did you go to Gunpla right away or started with other model kits first?
I had experimented with a couple of kits, but Gunpla was my first deep dive into models.
Wie lange hat es gedauert, dann von der Idee von dem Gunpla bauen bis zu deinem Shop? So how long after that did you want to start the shop?
I've only had the shop open for 3 years, so 17 years later, I decided to open MajinHobby.
Hast du einen favorisierten Anime beziehungsweise Suit? So do you have a favorite anime, Gundam anime or suit?
No.
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 The quick question is the quick answer is no. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we had that along.
Yeah. Go back and watch the rest of the video.
Do you have a lot of customers from Europe, Germany? Hast du sehr viele Kunden von Europa, von Deutschland?
Not a lot. Part of that is because of shipping issues between our countries right now with COVID, and so not a lot, but I would say maybe 10% of my sales are international.
Okay. One thing I didn't ask you in the long run, but now is a good time for a quick question. EFSF oder Xeon? So EFSF
Xeon.
or Xeon? Oh, man.
I'm a Xeon baby. I'm sorry.
Always. Everyone I'm asking is Xeon.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think the all the mobile suits are wonderful designs, but for me, Xeon just does something special.
So, and the future of your store, wie sieht es aus mit deinem Shop in der Zukunft?
The moon.
The moon.
We're just going straight up from here. 2022 is going to be a huge year for us. Lots of stuff happening. Stay tuned.
Okay, that's it then.
Okay, good.
Vielen Dank.
Fit that in.
Vielen Dank fürs Zuschauen an dieser Stelle. Ich werde Untertitel überall drunter legen. Keine Sorge, das wird mich lange dauern, aber das werden wir schon irgendwie schaffen. And thank you really again for being here and answering everything and being a person to speak to for my followers.
Of course. I'm here anytime.
So, have a nice day, evening for me.
Yeah, right.
And see you next time. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.